Hey, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another Military Card Monday. Today I'm going to be telling you about the Buffalo Soldiers, give you kind of a quick rundown of who the Buffalo Soldiers were. And the reason behind that is because I have some cards from an obscure set with one of the cards being relatively rare and it depicts a Buffalo Soldier. So, let's go ahead and get into this and let me tell you about the Buffalo Soldiers. So in 1866, Congress authorized the creation of permanent all-black regiments. Eventually those units would be known as the Buffalo Soldiers. There were 5 original all-black regiments formed: the 9th Cavalry, 10th Cavalry, 38th Infantry Regiment, 25th Infantry Regiment, and the 24th Infantry Regiment. Buffalo Soldier was a nickname given to those men by the Native Americans they fought during the Indian Wars. So let's talk about the 2 cavalry regiments. These were mounted cavalry, and the 9th Cavalry Regiment was activated in 1866. Its engagements included the Indian Wars, Spanish-American War, Philippine-American War, the Pancho Villa expedition, which was on the border of Texas and Mexico. For World War I, they were in the Philippines, and for World War II, they were in North Africa. And while they were in North Africa, they were deactivated in 1944. Now for the 10th Cavalry Regiment, again activated in 1866. Similar to the 9th Cavalry Regiment, they spent some engagements with the Indian Wars, the Spanish-American War, the Philippine-American War, Pancho Villa expedition. They were in Arizona for World War I. And for World War II, they were in North Africa, where they were eventually deactivated in 1944. Now, there are 3 infantry regiments. And so let's talk about the 38th Infantry Regiment. They were activated in 1866. This regiment was short-lived. They were only a regiment for the Indian Wars, and they were eventually consolidated into the 24th Infantry Regiment. Now, an interesting character evolved out of the 38th Infantry Regiment. Kathy Williams, the first recorded African-American female to serve in the U.S. Army, she was disguised as a man. So she's been recognized as the first African-American female to serve in the Army in combat. So, interesting designation. So next we have the 25th Infantry Regiment. They were activated in 1866. Their engagements included the Indian Wars, Spanish-American War, the Philippine-American War. For World War I, they were in Hawaii. And for World War II, they were in the Pacific Theater. And what you'll find is that while the cavalry regiments were in North Africa during World War II, the infantry regiments spent time in the Pacific Theater. So the 25th Infantry Regiment was deactivated following World War II in 1946. The 24th Infantry Regiment was activated in 1866. Their engagements included the Indian Wars, the Spanish-American War, the Philippine-American War, Pancho Villa expedition. They were in Texas for World War I. Got into a little bit of trouble down there in Houston. In World War II, they were in the Pacific Theater, and they were the only Buffalo Soldier infantry regiment that went to Korea. They were the longest activated infantry regiment for the Buffalo Soldiers. They were deactivated in October of 1951. The all-black 24th Infantry Regiment was the last regiment known as the Buffalo Soldiers to be disbanded. This eliminated the last lingering formal practice of segregation in the Army. I'm going to talk about a couple of figures here. First figure being that of Bullet Joe. So the Buffalo Soldiers and the Negro Leagues have a couple of ties. One being Bullet Joe. Now, there were a number of characters I found, some individuals that not only served as Buffalo Soldiers, but were also in the Negro Leagues. I'm going to be telling you about two of them. One of them is Charles Bullet Joe Rogan, and Rogan served with the 24th Infantry in the Philippines from 1912 to 1914. And in 1915, he joined the 25th Infantry Regiment in Hawaii, where he played for the regiment's famous baseball team known as the Wreckers. He played for the Wreckers until his discharge from the Army in 1920. Then, following his discharge from the Army, Bullet Joe played as a pitcher, outfielder, and manager for the Kansas City Monarchs in the Negro Leagues from 1920 to 1938. In 1924, Bullet Joe starred as the first Black World Series and was inducted into the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame in 1998. The next individual is going to be Oscar Charleston. Oscar Charleston served 3 years in the 24th Infantry Regiment. He lied about his age to enlist at 15 years old. He served in the Philippines. He was honorably discharged, and after his time served in the Army, he was an American center fielder and manager in the Negro League Baseball. Over his 43-year baseball career, he played or managed with more than a dozen teams, including the Homestead Grays and the Pittsburgh Crawfords. He and Josh Gibson share a record for Negro League batting titles with 3, and he is now credited with having won the Triple Crown for batting 3 times, which is the most for any player in Major League Baseball. He holds the second highest career batting average behind Ty Cobb. He was inducted into the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame in 1976. All right, so what's the legacy of the Buffalo Soldiers? Of the 5 original Buffalo Soldiers units, there were a total of 13 Medal of Honor recipients. On July 26, 1948, President Harry Truman signed Executive Order 9981, mandating the desegregation of the U.S. military. It took another 3 years for all of the branches of the military to be fully integrated. This year, Monday, July 26, 2024, marks the 75th anniversary of this monumental event. Also, July 28th is National Buffalo Soldier Day. Now let's talk about the tobacco manufacturer and the set that my cards come from. So, the cards come from Will's Cigarettes. Will's was a British tobacco company formed in Bristol, England, and was the first British company to mass-produce cigarettes. In 1887, Will's were one of the first UK tobacco companies to include advertising cards in their packs of cigarettes, but it was not until 1895 that they produced their first general interest sets of cards. Those included Ships and Sailors and Soldiers of the World. And I'm going to be talking about the latter, being the 1895's Will's Cigarettes Soldiers of the World set. So here's some set facts. This is a scarce 100 card set depicting soldiers from many different countries from all over the world. Will's Tobacco is a British tobacco brand. Only 5 cards in the 100 card set depict American soldiers, while the others depict soldiers from all over the world in different countries. Of those 5 cards, 1 card is that of a Buffalo Soldier, and it's the rarest card in the set. And now I'm going to pause for a little bit while I set up and share the cards with you. So hang on. Okay, welcome back. And so, like the number of Buffalo Soldier regiments, there are 5 U.S. soldier cards in this set, this Will's set, and I happen to have all 5. It's rather difficult to obtain all 5 cards, but the last card I'm going to show you is the most difficult to obtain. So, the first card depicting a U.S. soldier in the set is the General full dress uniform card. And this is what the cards look like. This is what the back of the cards look like. Kind of an ornate, back on that. Victorian back, that's the word I was looking for. So here's the general full dress, kind of a cool looking uniform if you ask me. And then the next card is going to be the Captain Artillery Marching Order. I like that Colt pistol he's got there with his saber. Now, if you think about the time frame that these cards were produced, they were produced just before the Philippine-American War, and so a couple of years before that. The war may have already been going on before the U.S. got involved. The next card is the Bugler Cavalry. It's a pretty neat card. I like that headdress he's got there. Here's the back of this one. And the next one is a Infantry Sergeant Major. That's the top enlisted guy right there. Looks like he's reading a map. Here's the back. All right, and now for the centerpiece of this collection. This is the Negro Infantry. This is such a beautiful card, and it depicts such a historic character in military's history and the United States history, that of a Buffalo Soldier. I can only imagine this soldier being, part of the 25th or the 24th Infantry Regiment. As I stated before, the 38th Infantry Regiment was consolidated into the 24th. Just a beautiful looking card. Again, rare. It's highly sought after, so it's difficult to pick up. Here's the ornate Victorian back. Just a beauty, and so happy to have that in my collection. Now, again, like I said, this set is obscure as a set itself. The trading card database does not list it. You can only find references in a couple of books that I have for UK, trading cards and tobacco cards. There's only a couple of examples listed online on eBay. I've found some examples of auctions that have been sold over the years. None of those examples, though, show this card. I can only find it, in some online examples. And in order for me to figure out how many U.S. military cards there were in the 100 card set, there's no set registry anywhere for this card set. So there was no, I wasn't able to find a checklist. I know that there is only 5 U.S. cards simply because I saw an entire set for sale online, and I had to count them out and figure out that there is only 5 U.S. cards representing soldiers from the United States in the set. That's how obscure this set is. And somehow, early on in my non-sport collecting, time, I was able to track down all 5 of these cards. So, really awesome. that I actually own these cards. I'm quite pleased with that, the fact that I actually own all 5. And so, yeah, thank you for checking out this Military Card Monday. I hope you've enjoyed this short introduction into the Buffalo Soldiers and those Hall of Fame Negro League players that were once Buffalo Soldiers. Really cool that there are 2 individuals out there that have that designation. And then I hope you've enjoyed these obscure military cards. So y'all take care, keep hunting the good stuff, and until next time, see you later.